One interesting thing that came out on Wednesday, 27th of July 2016 is Twitter links with Sky Sports to show Premier League highlights. Social networks users will be able to see key moments and goals in real time via the Sky football account. Twitter has signed a deal with Sky Sports to show Premier League highlights and goals on the social media site from the 2016-17 season. As part of the agreement, Twitter users in the UK and Ireland will be able to see video clips of key moments and goals from all games broadcast by Sky in real time via the Sky Football Twitter account. The Sky Sports Football Centre app will also carry full highlights of every Premier League and Football League match for Sky Sports TV customers, including those shown on BT Sport after those games have ended. Twitter users and Sky Sports subscribers in Ireland will also be able to see video content in real time from the Saturday 3 p.m. games, which are traditionally not shown on TV. Twitter's Theo Luke said of the deal, "We can't think of a better way to continue the momentous summer of sport on Twitter than live Premier League video clips. Sky Sports are incredibly innovative on Twitter, so it seemed like a natural fit to work with them to bring the fans the most sought after action in sport in an instant." The latest announcement extends Twitter's growing presence in the world of sport, with the social media platform having already run a similar highlights package during Euro 2016 and offered live and behind the scenes coverage of this year's Wimbledon via its live streaming service, Periscope. Twitter has faced extensive questions over its future when in competition with other social platforms, including Facebook, which has more than 1.6 billion monthly users compared with Twitter's 310 million. Many regard the service as too confusing, and Twitter has spent much of its year working on improving its video content and live streaming abilities in order to appeal to new users. The fact that they've got Periscope is quite important as well. But David Gibbs, the digital director of Sky Sports and Sky News, said, "We're delighted to be working with Twitter to bring in-game clips to football fans across the UK and Ireland as part of our biggest ever season of football. With more than 30 million users across a variety of platforms, Sky Sports is already the #1 digital destination for sports in the UK. By expanding our partnership with Twitter, we can bring even more great action to an even bigger audience." Gman Gezzie Fizzle, want to hear your views on this? It's one of them ones. Football and social media. Match made in heaven, match made in hell. And what's your view on Twitter hooking up with Sky Sports to show Premier League highlights and key points in real time?
I think it's huge. I think there's no way of denying it in the terms of how sports news is disseminated these days, with everybody being so connected to social media. To be honest, you're likely to find out about a story on social media before you see it in actual broadcast media.
Yeah, because Sky Sports breaking news strap is about 2 to 3 hours too slow. And hey, we know. I remember we noticed this a few years ago when it was like, wait, hold no, it's like, no, mate, this is not breaking news. We've all known this for about 3-4 hours. It's like you can see, and I've criticized Sky Sports personally for it. Not as a member of PT, but I've criticized them personally for it. I've said, yeah, we can see where your Sky sources are coming from. We can see who they are because we saw them 3 hours ago. Sorry, just wanted to say that.
No, and I think this element now kind of breaks that fourth wall, so to speak.
Kayfabe.
And everything's much more immediate. And I think it's the best way to go. The only thing that I say about this, and it's probably one of those things that may have been discussed or just out and out overlooked, is it's kind of counterintuitive to the TV coverage. Right? Because I says to you, if you are short on time, but just want the best bits, there's absolutely no reason for you to then go and watch a full game. Or to watch any kind of highlight show.
Fair dues.
Because you've seen everything already in real time.
But it's traditional. But a lot of people have been saying that traditional media and presenting stuff in a traditional way is dead, and people are only interested in little tiny short clips. I mean, the amount of people I've said, "Oh yeah, I'll co-host a football talk show," and they ask how long it is, and they're like, they kind of and ah because of that. Is that the nation we're living in then?
I don't think it's a nation thing. I think this is the world that we're living in now. As I say to you, if you can get bite-sized chunks and highlights, and one of the great things that the NFL have done with NFL Game Pass over the last few years is make it so that you get condensed games. So a game that, if you're watching it with all of the stoppages in play, the adverts and everything else, takes about 3 hours. with the condensed footage, it takes about 30 minutes. So for me, that's wonderful because I get to see, more games in that same time frame. And I've seen everything because, it's literally play after play after play. There isn't anything else added. But going back to the point I was making, with all the highlights being available, again, I say to you, it's counterintuitive, in my opinion, to whatever broadcast are going to put together because all of the information's already out. And for me, after you've watched all the highlights that they've put out, there's no need to watch the rest of the game. For me, personally. And there's also no need to subscribe to their services either because it's all available on Twitter.
I mean, G-Man, did you want to jump in as well?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I can't not, well, I cannot disagree. Well, I can't disagree with Jeffy, because what he's saying is right. It is a little intuitive. However, it's happening already. It's happening without the companies. Like, for instance, without Sky being involved, people are taking footage, with their camera phones, with their iPads, with whatever source of video technology they've got, and uploading it to Twitter anyway. People are watching, the dingy videos, the crap videos, the poor audio, the poor sound, With Sky, I think it's just inevitable with Sky just wanting to get involved and, branding them, being able to brand themselves rather than having someone with an iPhone who's half got the screen in focus, and showing a replay of a goal with Sky on the strap or, BBC on the strap. They can do it themselves. Why not? Everyone likes it. They've seen it. They know it works. It might be counterintuitive in the terms of, when it comes to some decisions that might be made, and I don't know, might be confusing in terms of, with the fact that, yeah, we have goal line technology now, but there are also decisions that, are missed, and, would it be in Sky's best interest to show controversial decisions, yeah, through their own video when, I don't know, because watching a live game on TV, we get to see a replay 3 or 4 times anyway, and we can decide whether something's, whether a referee's made a bad decision or good decision, just looking from that aspect. So maybe it's not, but no, you know what? I think it's just sensible of companies like Sky to want to be more immersive with the fans, be there with the fans on Twitter rather than just being Sky on TV, being spoken about, via, being added and, hashtagged. Now they can actually put the videos there, lead to their own questions, have the footage, they're just being, it's just another way of entwining themselves with the fans.
Do you know what? I'm actually in agreement with you on that because at the end of the day, look at what. All right. It's patting ourselves on the back, but still, let's take the example of Pitch Talk Live. As a show and just as an entity in general, we've always been about we the people for the people, and interaction has always been one of the things that we've tried to champion, and we've from day one we've always been like we want to discuss with you the fans, we want to get out and talk with you the fans, we want to promote you the fans and what you're doing. If someone's doing something good, that's why we've got the Pitch Talk Meet series, that's why we've got the Pitch Talk at the Cup Final series, that's why we've got PT on the road, that's why we've got the live show. Whereas it's one of them was the live show is a voice for those who might not otherwise get a chance to express what they want to express. So it's one of them ones we've always, I personally see it as we've always done that and we've always championed that cause. A lot of other entities have been a bit late to the party, but hell, they've got more marketing, they've got more budget and all that kind of crap. Not bemoaning that, it's just fact. For me, Twitter having 310 million users compared to Facebook's 1.6 billion. In a way, it's a surprise. In a way, it's not. But at the same time, for me, it's like this is kind of inevitable. Remember, Jazzy G-Man, remember ESPN Goals and what they used to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to love ESPN Goals. ESPN Goals was great
Yeah, same here.
back in the day.
Yeah, soon as,
They
and
did it for
this
one
is what like
season as well.
yeah. I mean, it was one of them ones. They were doing this same thing about yeah, putting highlights and goals up in real time via the Sky Football Twitter handle. ESPN Goals was doing that 2-3 years ago. The only snag with that is just I think it was to do with broadcasting rights, which I think Sky Sports were probably a major. I say probably a major reason why that couldn't continue. So it was one of them ones. ESPN Goals. This has already been done. To be perfectly frank, because remember, ESPN Goals. It used to be as soon as a goal went in, you wait literally a minute or two. Full quality, the goal's there. Here's the goal. Big incident happens. Same thing. So ESPN Goals have already done it. They've already done it, and it was successful. I mean, we loved it. I mean, the amount of times I was on my way to Ibis 4's matches, just stepping out of my house. Oh, look at that. Ooh, the goal. And then you get to see the goal. I used to love that, and then they used to take it down. Like as soon as the match had finished, they took it down. But then they had highlights afterwards as well. So I said this has already been done with ESPN Goals, so it's inevitable that it would happen again. A lot of times, certain things don't take off because they're a little ahead of their time, which I think we've kind of had that problem at times where we're kind of ahead of the curve. And I think there is such a thing as being too ahead of the curve. I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back. I'm just saying. There's a lot of times where we discuss something, then 6 months to a year later, everyone else, every other media outlet does. And because, well, they're just bigger entities, everyone jumps on that. And we're like, yeah, we spoke about this a few years ago. Here's a YouTube video. Here's the podcast to prove it. So it's like some things are ahead of their time. For me, this is a good thing, but again, it's ESPN Goals reincarnated. It really is ESPN Goals reincarnated. It's a carbon copy. And hey, it's one of them ones. If any of the guys involved in that ESPN Goals project are listening to this, thank you for listening. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, it is a legit clone of that. Literally, as you guys were going through it, it just made me think ESPN Goals. So it's kind of like, I don't know whether ESPN missed a trick on it or what happened, but the fact of the matter is it's been done before. But there's a lot more football that people can't afford to pay 50, 60 quid for subscription fees. And a lot of people can't afford to do it. So Wayne Rooney's testimonial was shown on Facebook Live in its entirety. Nathan Arsenal, who's a good mate of mine, watched a bit of it. He was like, the stream was crap, but the fact of the matter is they broadcasted that whole match on Facebook Live. The Europa League final, the Champions League finals this year being broadcast on YouTube Live. So it's one of them ones. This stuff is almost an inevitability. It's almost an inevitability because everything's going social media anyway. And as the G-Man said, it's like, look at Vines. There like you see someone say fall over, and then, or most recent example I can think of, Ashley Young with the bird crapping in his mouth. How quickly did that Vine pop up on social media and spread? You guys, yeah, G-Man, Gezzie, you guys remember that, innit? How quickly did that spread?
That was instantaneous.
There we go. So, like Sky Sports and Twitter hooking up to show Premier League highlights, and also Football League highlights as well. It's like, well, it just makes sense. It's the next logical step. And also, what it does is, I know you guys were mentioning about it potentially being counterintuitive, which I think it is to an extent, but at the same time, it gives those who might be sitting on the fence thinking, should I pay for Sky Sports? Should I pay for BT Sport? I want to see more matches. It gives the opportunity to try before you buy. which for entities such as Sky Sports, because of the billions they've got behind them and the billions they avoid in tax. Anyway, leaving that aside, sorry, the billions they've got behind them, they can afford to do this. They can afford to do it. When you can afford to pay £5.136 billion for just Premier League TV rights, you can afford to be you can afford to literally be giving away highlights, like highlight clips of like a minute or two. You could afford to be giving away like, oh yeah, here's a goal. If you want to see the match, sign up for more and pay for it. They can afford to do it. These are entities that can afford to give away that kind of content. So, in terms of it being counterintuitive, understand the point. Don't totally agree with it, but I understand it. So it's one of them ones. I mean, if any of the Skypers want to jump in, please let us know. But for me, the fact of the matter is, it's just, I think it's very much an inevitability. And also, of course, Twitter are going to jump on it. Because Twitter want to grow the amount of users they've got from 310 to 510 and 610 and 810 million. They want to grow it. And the thing is, a lot of players are on Twitter anyway. So it's a case of it's a natural synergy. The amount of players that are on Twitter, the amount of leagues that are on Twitter. You've got the 14 Southern Amateur League on Twitter. You've got teams on Twitter. It just makes sense to have Twitter and Sky Sports hooking up in this way. It just makes sense. From a marketing perspective, it's fantastic. As said, it's not original. It's legitimately not original because Twitter potentially could have hooked up with ESPN Goals years ago. But obviously Twitter wasn't that big, and ESPN Goals, there may have been mistakes made, and that didn't get as big as it could have been, but it was brilliant for a season. So it's one of them. This is, I said, not original, but the fact of the matter is, it is one of them ones. I think it's going to work, and it's going to work very, very well. I mean, Ross Vernon, did you want to jump in on this as well?
Yes, because like what Max just mentioned in the Skype chat about the Midweek Football League games, on Sky Sports News on the Midweek Football League games all last season, it was just mainly the Championship they did, if Championship went on, they did from just League One. What they were doing, after a goal or Kingston went in, they went across to the reporter, they reported on it, and then the show, while I was still doing his report, they showed the action as it happened. And while I was listening to Leeds United games, I used to have that on my iPad, Sky Sports News, and I used to see all the goals from the games as they were going in, so I could see all the goals from around the league. And then for like League One and League Two matches, if Championship was on as well, because they didn't show League One and League Two, I used to watch those after like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock later on on Sky Sports News, and then used to watch highlights a bit later on like the club's official YouTube channel. So Sky's already started doing that with Midweek Football League games. Now they're going to try with Premier League games on social media rather on Sky Sports News itself. Maybe if that works, maybe they'll probably put it over onto Sky Sports News. So I think it's going to be a good decision. I think it's a fantastic decision for him to put it on, and throughout the season I'll be looking forward to watching them while listening to Leeds United matches when I'm not Leeds games or Rolling matches. So I think it's going to be a very good idea for Sky this season and upcoming season as well if it works.
I think it's a good idea, and I think it will take off. But I said, it's not. It's like the NWO in WWF in 2002, WWF/WWE in 2002. It's one of them ones where it's not original. it's not original. I think it's ESPN Goals reincarnated, and I thought ESPN Goals was actually pretty good. I thought it was. I think it was actually the G-Man or Gezzie Fizzle who told me about ESPN goals back in those days, and it was like, raw, this is pretty damn good. So it's one of them ones. I think it's just ESPN goals reincarnated. I mean, Gezzie, G-Man, do you want to jump in with any final thoughts before we move on?
Not really, other than, as I say, I'll be interested to see how it develops. But for me, as I said, in terms of wanting to take out a full package with Sky, look, if they're going to be providing this service anyway, there's really no need.
Mm,
So, I can get all of my Premier League highlights essentially from Sky without having Sky because of the deal.
mm, mm.
Unless, of course, they get taken down after a certain amount of time.
Yeah. But then I said that's what ESPN Goals used to do. They take that stuff down, but then put up little bite-sized highlights of a couple minutes.
So yeah, so if they do that, where essentially that content gets lost, like on Snapchat, for example, then okay, like I can see why I would want to then go on and maybe have the service at home. But while it's active and it's live and I'm out and about and I've got reception and I'm logged into Twitter and everything else, with me getting all of these goal updates with the video, I don't need to go back to Sky, in my opinion.
But then I said there will be some people who see it as a trial thing, similar to what we're doing. Similar to what we're doing with PT Live, trialing out a few things, going 8 till 10 instead of 8 till 11, trialing things, no results analysis for the foreseeable, just trialing it, seeing how it works. You never know. You never know. But here's one of them. Here's one of them ones. Mike Horniman has said. Actually, you know what, Mike? Do you want to quickly say what you've just mentioned in the Skype chat before we move on?
Yeah, okay, I will. It's basically just a question regarding, obviously, the listening facilities. Obviously, they'll have Borough Playoff for Stevenage, Middlesbrough, and whatever, Middlesbrough for Rotherham and so on. Obviously, that's going to impact on that as well because you're going to lose out on subscribers there because basically they'll only have to wait a couple of seconds to see it in action. Obviously, they'll be able to get it through their phones as such, to Twitter or to Facebook or whatever. It'll come straight through to their phone. So, they'd be losing out on revenue there, I guess, as well.
That's a great shout. That is actually a good shout. I actually didn't think.
And as I say, that's part of the point I was making when I was saying it's counterintuitive. So if you've got it all anyway, what are you paying the additional money for? There's really no point.
Yeah,
First rule of making money, don't lose money. Second rule of making money, see rule 1.